the agency that I own, ID Media Group, we produce PR content and distribution and management for teams, manufacturers, and brands. We've got about 10 customers in the pro pits. We have Factory Kawasaki Australia. So we produce all the photo, all the video. We manage all the social accounts. We distribute everything with PR for the Factory Kawasaki team, the Team Green programs, the privateers, everything.
What's up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with number 125 of the Two Wheels to Freedom show. This week, we're going to talk to an old friend, Joe Stevens. Joe Stevens actually was from England and messaged me on, I want to say MySpace, although it might have been Facebook. It was one of the two. And he said Chris Birch was over in America and hung out with you guys and had a good time, and said that it would be a good idea for me to hit you up if I wanted to come over, which turned into literally him showing up about a month later with Ryan Patch. Sight unseen, they just came over and stayed for a couple of months at the house, and we had a lot of fun. We ended up touring together. Joe now is the owner of ID Media, which does a lot of the big motorcycle brands in Australia's content for their socials. He also is the announcer for Supercross, I believe, live in the building. Used to do the TV stuff. So it was fun to catch back up with Joe Stevens and see how things are going now. Hope you guys enjoy. And as always, please visit our affiliates. You have toughjug.com. You can get free shipping using the code 2wheels25. And also Hero Soap Company, herosoapcompany.com. And you can get a discount there with the code Clint. And Hero Soap Company is actually made in the United States. It is veteran owned, and they give back to veteran and first responder charities. So go and check them out. So what's up, Joe? It's been a long time since we've talked.
It is, Clint. Thanks for reaching out, mate. Yeah, it's been, I think the last time you and I did a podcast was like 2017.
Wow, almost 10 years.
Yeah. That's crazy. I remember because we were talking about, I was still a trainer and a coach back then. And I remember us doing one with, I can't remember, you had a co-host, I forget now.
Nick Gore, Turbo Nuts.
Yeah, Turbo Nuts. How could I forget?
That's right. No, he decided he was growing up, and I don't really drink on the podcast anymore, so, you know, it's a different podcast.
Well, we've all got to grow up sometime, man.
Fought it for a long time, but I guess you got to give in. So how long did you coach for?
Man, I coached for a long time. About 2012, I started coaching. Obviously, you know the backstory, right? Like I sort of left the UK, ended up sleeping on your couch and traveling America, doing freestyle somehow. And then when I moved to Australia, it took a little bit of time for me to get back into moto. I didn't really do anything for a while and just kind of adjusted to being a normal human being after being on tour and living that lifestyle. And yeah, the freestyle scene here was not anything like what I experienced with you guys. It was, I wrote a few shows over here, but the disparity of like working class freestyle to like the elite level here was gnarly. And for me, I didn't enjoy it, you know?
I guess if you have that many killers there, it's like kind of ruins the market for everybody else.
Well, yeah, like when we were in the States, right? Like when I was with you and I'd go stay with Brody, I'd go stay with J-Ro, and we'd do these shows, and like you get paid, you know, I'm 19 years old living in a van in America, like $1,000 a show is amazing money, right? You know? I look back now, I'm like, I don't even know how I survived that period of time. But, you know, then I came over here and it was like, I couldn't ride the way I did in America because we rode every day or as much as we could. And then over here, all the working class freestyle guys had full-time jobs. Yeah. So, you know, you go ride once a week, once a fortnight, and they just be absolutely sending it. And the Aussies just go so hard. And I wrote a couple shows and made no money. And I was like, this is just ridiculous. There's, the elite level guys back then were living in California, and there was just no, I guess what I experienced in the States, right? Where you were a professional writer and that's what you did. For then to have that kind of working class, full-time job, I was just like, this is not what I want to be doing. So that's when I was like, well, hey, I used to be a pro racer. Maybe I can get back into that. So long and short, did the privateer pro thing over here. And there was an avenue that the training and the coaching here was probably not up to par with the rest of the world. And despite how I lived with you guys when I was in America, I didn't train. I didn't do any of that because I just finished being a pro racer. I spent a lot of time training and working in that area when I was younger racing. So I was like, well, let's bring that to Australia. So then from about 2012, when I started racing pro over here, I had my own program until probably about 2018. And that had different arms to it, where I had my on-track coaching program, where we grew that to being one of the biggest coaching programs in Australia for the amateurs and the junior kids. And we travel around Oz with a team of coaches doing different schools and events. I had my gym for about 4 or 5 of those years, where we actually had a gym facility, where it started off just me training moto guys in my shed, in my garage, and then grew to what I called a sports performance training center. So we had different trainers for team sports like Aussie football, and we had a therapist, physio, all that sort of stuff. And then I got rid of the gym because, I was all still young doing this. I wasn't very experienced in business. I'm like mid-20s doing all this stuff and just, I'll do this, I'll do that. Let's open a gym. Let's start a race team, and it's all looks awesome, but, I'm spending a load of money and making some money and just making it work. And I'm doing, at the same time, I'm getting more established in the media side of the sport over here. So I did the TV presenting for the pro nationals over here and emceed Supercrosses. And that started in about 2014. So yeah, probably a bit of a convoluted answer, but had a lot of things going on for a long time. And then pretty much as COVID hit, COVID over here, I don't know if you're aware how bad it was in Australia. Not the fake disease that COVID was, but the rules and regulations that the government put in place. It pretty much destroyed. We didn't have events for the best part of 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So as far as me traveling and doing coaching schools and doing that sort of thing, there was no racing, there was nothing. So that at that point, obviously that was done. And that's when I started my media company in about early 2020.
Awesome. So I was wondering why you transitioned to media like so hard. I guess you already had a foot in it, and I was thinking maybe it was just to be home with the kids, but it makes sense that was kind of a force of hand there, right?
Yeah, it was a few factors, right? Like I said, I had my coaching, my gym. I had a pro race team for a couple of years. We were a KTM support team. And I guess the reality was all these things I was doing in business, I was spending all this money, right? But what I was good at was getting sponsors, doing PR, doing TV, talking, representing, my program and the sponsors we had. And it kind of got to a point, even before COVID, I was getting ready to transition because I was like, I can just, that's when the agency model, and I think with social media, the sport was just taking that next step, Yeah. Social media wasn't in its infancy anymore. It had evolved into this platform where it was something you could leverage, and we were good at that. And then, combine that with COVID, and it was like, boom, all right, well, I guess this is what I'm doing now. And obviously, to begin with, I wasn't going to make a lot of money doing it. And I actually had a friend that ran a digital marketing agency in the real world, CRMs and email marketing and paid ads for everyday businesses. And this was back when I lived in Melbourne. And pretty much I went to see him and I was like, hey, man, this is what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? And he goes, oh, well, hey, do you want to come work for me? I know how good you are at this stuff. Come do this at my company and get your feet wet. So I pretty much just dropped everything I was doing. I'm like, all right, well, this is what I'm doing. I went and worked for him for 6 months. Like I've never worked for anybody in my life really. And it was not the easiest thing, but I learned so much about the agency business model in the real world. You know, like we were having business meetings with multi-million-dollar companies. We were doing all of their, the customer relations management, their paid ads, and it got to the point where he's like, hey, why don't you just stay on and become my operations manager here, and you can sort of build a career in this. And I was like, nah, I want to go do what I want to do in moto with the agency. And I had to make a choice. So that's when I left working there after about 6 or 9 months and really went into ID Media Group.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then simultaneously, I worked for the promoter of the Pro Nationals over here. And Inside Dirt was the publication owned by that promoter back then. So it served as like the digital publication of that championship. But when COVID hit, that promoter gave the national championship back to Motorcycling Australia, the governing body, because obviously there was no events for the best part of 3 years, right?
Wow.
So he just said, this isn't going to recover, like I'm out sort of thing. And I was real close with him, and he was like, well, why don't you just take Inside Dirt? Because it's going to complement your media company. You're already doing stuff for us. So that's when I acquired Inside Dirt as a publication that runs alongside my media company.
Awesome.
So that is the very short story of the last 15 years.
Well, there you go. That was a good synopsis.
Yes. Try to be concise.
So now this is your podcast, basically what you're doing now, aside from live announcing. You do the live announcing, or you do TV announcing for Supercross?
I did TV for a lot of years, and I'm doing live announcing at the moment. I wouldn't say I won't go back to TV. I did TV for Pro Motocross for a long time, and I did some Supercross TV. But TV is very fickle with the promoters and the production companies. So the new promoters for Pro Motocross, like, essentially have 2 Australian legends doing the TV. And as much as I've been here for a long time, I'm not it's like when you got Ricky and James doing America, exactly. Right? Like, there's no room for a media personality when you've got those guys doing TV, So
shit, Daniel Blair couldn't even make it, and he did race.
Yeah, I mean, it's, same, with Supercross. But I'll be completely honest with you, I did TV for a long time, and I do enjoy TV, but I prefer live announcing. It's really fun.
Yeah, that's kind of more fun because you can interact with the crowd somewhat.
Yeah, like I think obviously doing the freestyle shows back in the day with you guys, you get used to that environment. So for me, like, TV's fun, but you're in a production office or you're in a production trailer and you're away. You can't smell the bikes. You can't hear the crowd, Yeah. And I don't do motocross anymore at all with commentary. Like, we're way too busy as a company at the races for me to do that. But at Supercross, I'll go hire extra people so that I can do Supercross, because it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, we had.
So what are you guys doing at the? Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're all good, mate. You go. We'll talk about that later. You go.
So what are you guys doing at the race? You guys are running around getting interviews or filming the races themselves, or what?
Yeah, so there's a few verticals to the business model, so it gets a little complicated. But the agency that I own, ID Media Group, we produce PR, content, and distribution and management for teams, manufacturers, and brands. So we've got about 10 customers in the pro pits. We have Factory Kawasaki Australia. So we produce all the photo, all the video. We manage all the social accounts. We distribute everything with PR for the Factory Kawasaki team, the Team Green programs, the privateers, everything. So that involves, recap videos, photos from each day. So typically I have 2 or 3 staff at each event. And yeah, a photographer, videographer, sometimes 2 videographers, social media manager. So we have Kawasaki, Triumph Australia is another partner of ours. We have distribution companies, Michelin, Thor, different brands, right? So that's what we do with the races. Inside Dirt is, like I said, the PR and the distribution network of that. So think of Inside Dirt like a Racer X, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we do race coverage, and that's the media platform that we release a lot of the stuff for our customers on.
Do you have a physical magazine?
No.
Okay.
No. Print is pretty much dead everywhere. But yeah. We're a digital company, so we do some media buying, and I will buy with legacy magazines. We do print ads sometimes for the people we manage, but it's very rare.
I still think of Racer X as a magazine. Sorry. Even though do they print one even? I don't know.
No, they do, but they don't retail it. So I think if you buy a subscription, you get a print copy in the mail.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's on magazine stands. But I don't know, dude. I get, in the industry we're in, I get all the media kits from all the magazines that still do print, and every quarter you'll get the call from the marketing guy, and he'll be like, "Hey man, print's coming back in a big way." It's like, yeah, I don't think so, man. But
maybe if you have picture books.
I think there's the print medium. There's a certain age demographic that maybe goes to, they go to the servo or, the gas station, whatever you guys, call it, on their way to the track, and they're 50 years old and they pick up a magazine. They go, "Oh, okay." But, anybody that's 40 years old or younger, I can't tell you the last time I picked up a magazine. Can you?
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I didn't even know if Racer X had a magazine or not. So I'm obviously not reading them either. I think it's like even people trying to do like coffee table books and stuff. It's like, I don't know.
I think the sentiment is nice.
It is.
But, you want to do some cool stuff as a, as a passion project, sure. But when it comes to business, it's not really, a lot of the legacy media over here in moto and car, and there's a lot of ownership groups here, and they just own a bunch of, publications. So the ones that are still going here are owned by a bigger funding group, and that just takes a long time to filter through before they'll sort of cut that. I don't know. It may stick around, but no, we don't have a print magazine. It's all digital.
Yeah. Long story long.
Short story long, I think. Yes. So that's what we do with the races. So yeah, when I say we're super, hell no. No, I am more autistic than artistic. So no, man, we have really good creatives, and I spend a lot of money on good creatives. And I remember I filmed a few episodes of FMX's TV back in the day. Do you remember?
Dude, so I only found one episode of that with Tim Boca, but I'm like, we kind of started podcasting early. That was because DMXS was there already.
I remember filming some stuff with you guys like 2008, and you had that backdrop in your shed there, and you were talking about what was going on with the team and the team riders and everything. And I remember editing those. Like, I've always had a bit of a media kind of mind, I guess, and even a marketing mind, right? Like, realistically, I was not good enough at freestyle to be able to do what I was doing in America, but I was accidentally able to run with, I don't know, right? Like, I got that Frenchie alter ego thing that you guys nicknamed me, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just stuck. Like, I had no business being on those tours, let's be honest, but I just made it work.
Did any of us? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. And I just
Some
kept
of the
that
guys
logic
were
through.
good.
Like,
A lot of
so,
good
I mean,
guys.
you were a shitload better than me, and like some of the, I don't know, man. I still look at, Brody's still killing it.
Yeah, I mean
20 years
Brody,
later, like
Javier.
Javier. There's not many of them left, I guess, that are doing it at an elite
No.
level. But yeah, I still message Brody. The image, I'm like, dude, this was 18 years ago. I was at your house in summer, and it's just, that's the path they're still on,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But yeah, it's a short career span for everybody else.
I always say the people that ride for a long time is because they're riding like Brody. You watch him and he's amazing. To him, that's an easy level. He's just riding at a level that's comfortable. It just happens to be like world world class level, you know?
Yeah, like they can just go bang that out, like you said, on autopilot, and it just
Yeah,
looks like he's riding at his house.
exactly.
But yeah, that's, I got a little sideways on a segue there, but I guess that's just how. No, I don't film anything myself. We have, the operation we have is pretty intricate as far as event coverage. This stuff's all super old. I got to take that down. But like what was I going to say? The race coverage now is instantaneous, right? So we have
Yeah.
our photographers shoot on track, and as soon as they've shot the content, it's in my phone, in my Dropbox by the time the checker flag's out. You know what I mean? And we're either sending it to their social media, our client social medias, Inside Dirt, getting distributed to all the partners. Like it's, we'll have 10 video edits done by Monday morning. Thousands of photographs distributed. Like it's quite, Australia really is an interesting place where it's probably got the biggest domestic championship in the world. And what I mean by that is if you look at like MXGP and AMA, they're not, the AMA is a domestic championship, but it isn't. It's a world championship. You know what I mean? Especially in America, you guys love to say it's a world championship, but
We have one in Toronto that's like 2 hours over the border, so it's world championship.
Nah, I mean it is though. You look at the riders and the funding in the industry, but Australia is very unique in the sense of we have this massive domestic championship, and for the economy of scale that this country is, there's a lot of money in the industry here. So commercially, there's a lot of good media and marketing that comes out of here,
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I kind of see it's like in my head, Australian moto and Canadian moto are like kind of comparable. I feel like you guys are ahead with probably TV packages and stuff and rider wise. I don't know. That's interesting, right? Who wins at destinations between you guys and Canada? Well, you guys did. Australia did last time.
Yeah, we won the entire Des Nations last year for the first time.
All right,
The comparison,
pre-Lawrence brothers.
Yeah, Australia, dude. Like Canada's good. The thing with Australia and Canada is there's actually a lot of similarities because they're both colonies. We both, Canada and Australia are both British
That's true.
colonies.
Huh.
So even economically, population, Canada and Australia are super similar. And it's not like, oh, we're better over here in moto to say that, but yeah, the series here, like I said, I feel, and I've raced in Europe, I've raced in the UK, I've raced in Australia, I've raced in America. Like our industry here and our championships are probably the strongest outside of MXGP and AMA. Canada's strong, and a lot of the other countries are strong, but if you look at we can't go anywhere else, right? Like a lot of our guys might do the New Zealand championship, which is, 4 or 5 hours across the water, but we're isolated to here. We're a long way away from everywhere else.
Yeah.
So like there's plenty of riders here that are making 6-figure salaries and racing full time, as a career here.
Then you're way ahead of Canada. Because I'm sure they're not making that type of money in Canada.
Probably not, and look, not everybody's making that. It's top heavy.
Of course, that's here too.
It's just proportionate, right? Top heavy. top heavy in America is multi-million. Top heavy here is hundreds of thousands. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it's true. Guys that are not winning championships are still making hundreds of thousands here. But you still got to be top 10. So how many guys are really making that in the U.S.? 10?
Yeah, the difference is a guy in America that does Supercross, he can make main events or be a front runner in the LCQs and still make, a couple $100,000 if he markets himself properly. Whereas, that's private deals. There's not many. If you get marketing,
What do you think OnlyFans is paying Carr now?
I don't know. Whatever it's doing for him, it isn't converting to results. But he's on his own deal. But you know what?
He's having
stay
fun.
in your lane. Stay in your lane if that works for him. And
well, that's probably one of the right now, privateer wise. If you're not on a team and it's somebody in that bubble, he's probably. I'm not going to say he's making the most, but he's got to have I don't know. They could be paying nothing. I'm just interested. Nobody really has a big company like that. You know what I mean? He's kind of in a good spot because anybody bigger is not going to take OnlyFans as a sponsor.
I don't know if he'll get it again. It's been a couple of seasons and he's sort of not done much, but he might just have a hookup. You know what it is like? Some sponsorships are just hook up with the company. You don't need to actually be delivering if someone likes you. And let's be real, that's half of business sometimes is knowing the right people, right?
It's a lot of business.
I would not have had any of the opportunities in America I had if I didn't meet you. And the only way I met you was by sending a MySpace message. You know what I mean?
Because you got a referral from Birchie.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, Birch vouches for him.
Yeah. But that's just how, you look at that, everything that happened to me in the 2 years I lived in America was because I met you.
That's cool.
Yeah. So don't underestimate meeting the right people.
No, for sure. That's a lot of it.
Yeah. So, that's where it's at. The sport over here it's in a good place, I wouldn't say right now economically Australia's in the best place. I think everywhere's struggling right now. But Supercross season's coming. Supercross is going to be bigger than it's ever been. Got a 5-round championship. So, we've got good promoters here. We got good championships, good riders. So as a media company, we can, service that. And it's growing.
And I think you guys are getting a bunch of good riders. Isn't Roxon coming and Tomac?
Lost audio. I can't hear you.
Hello. Can you hear me now? Check.
Yeah, it's weird. They just fully cut out.
Is it back now?
Yeah, I've got you now, yeah.
It's weird, because it is almost a little echo. I can hear myself.
Yeah, I've got you now.
What was I saying?
We were talking about, I don't know, dude, I got the memory of a goldfish, don't ask me. I think.
So we're both fucked.
Yeah, no, we were talking about the industry here. So I think I talked about the Supercross season coming up and how everyone's.
Oh, yeah. I said, that's what I was saying, that you guys have a lot of good riders coming over this year. I think Tomac's supposed to be going, Roxon.
That's World Supercross. That is not Australian Supercross, and that is a very delicate subject over here at the moment.
I probably just made a lot of people mad.
Yeah, it's for the average fan over here, it's epic because you've got a 5-round Australian Supercross series, and then one of those rounds is what they call the AusX Open, which is what the Lawrence brothers come out to. You got the Lawrence brothers, you got Cole Davies coming out. There's more guys they'll be announcing. So that's our usual internet. And that's massive. Last year, that was the biggest Supercross in the world outside of America. We had like 45,000 fans, like sold out this massive football stadium. You know, it's on par with an AMA event, you know. And then the other races, they're still big, but they're 15,000 people, fans, smaller stadiums, but, you know, we make it work.
So is Ossex Open part of that series or no?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So normally it's the last round. This year it's the second to last round. And then the final round this year is with the V8 Supercars. We're going to Adelaide. And that event's epic also. We have a Supercross track built in this. They do V8 Supercars is like our version of NASCAR. So they build a Supercross compound inside the V8 Supercar compound, which is a street race. So they shut down half the city, and then like bang in the middle of the city, we have a Supercross track.
Awesome.
And like last year, I think there was 260,000 people that came through the compound over the space of 3 days.
Wow.
They got to see Supercross, and most of them are seeing it for the first time, you know?
Right.
So that event's really cool. But unfortunately, that event this year is clashing with the World Supercross, which is happening about an hour from my house on the Gold Coast. And then
do you think there's any premeditation there?
The promoters of Australian Supercross used to be the owners of World Supercross.
Right.
And then that split, and
that's my point. Do you think one is like, we'll wait for their final and then just do our event, which I would know which way that would work if I was going to say that who probably planned it?
I don't want to say. I don't want to speculate.
You're too tied into all this. I can speculate all I want. I don't know.
You can speculate all you want. I will choose to say no comment in certain spaces.
In your position.
No, I honestly don't know. I don't know how it was able to happen. I don't know how two major events happening on the same day. I just know it's not good for anybody. And it cannibalizes a fan base that isn't endless, and it's a shame. But at least they're at opposite ends of the country. You literally couldn't get further away from where one is to the other. Like, it's thousands of kilometers. You know what I mean? So as far as, you know, I think a lot of the fans that would be going to one weren't going to be going to the other anyway, you know?
That's still super, I guess true. I guess that's true. Like, most people aren't probably flying across the country for the final round. Most.
It would be like saying, there's a Supercross at Anaheim and there's a Supercross at Detroit, right?
I'm going to wait for Detroit if I live in Michigan.
Like, how far away is it? You know, it's a long, you know, Australia's a big place.
Yeah.
So, so that's what's going on with that. But I won't be at World Supercross. I will be at Adelaide for the Australian Supercross.
Awesome. Well, I love the whole. You're kind of working off of a different crowd anyway, right? Because you're like more working off of the people in that city, especially new people that maybe just saw it for the first time last year and now they want to go back, versus people that are already kind of huge fans of Supercross in general because they're going to the race because certain people are there.
Yeah, that event is, like I said, it's driven by the V8 Supercars. So for the brand of AusX, Australian Supercross, that event is massive. It's massive for all of us because, like I said, you know, you've got all the major corporate sponsors of motorsport are in V8 Supercars. You know, so they get to see Supercross, they get to be exposed to what we do. And yeah, I don't see it being a problem with the crowds at different cities, but politically it ain't great, put it that way.
Hopefully some of the people it's obviously same city as last year, so hopefully some of the people that just saw it once last year and were like, "Oh, this was awesome, we should go next year again."
Yeah, honestly, the amount of people that came up to us, like, you know, doing the live announcing too, you know, you sometimes we do sponsor giveaways. You got the t-shirt cannons and you're throwing stuff into the crowd, and, you know, Supercross fans are probably a bit played out with that over the last, you know, 100 years of doing it. But the mainstream fans of like the car racing were losing it, trying to, you know, they were just, because it's crazy. You never seen Supercross before, and you see a Supercross main event go off, and they jump in the triples, and that's pretty wild.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we get kind of numb to it just because we've been around it forever, but it would be cool to see it with fresh eyes again, You're like,
I wish I wasn't so jaded. Like the stuff, we get to see, even with, you go back to the freestyle stuff that, we used to do, and I'll be announcing Supercross and Adelberg's just out there doing front flips and, all this just ridiculous stuff and it's like, oh, who wants to see a front flip? And everyone's like, woo, yeah, cool. But, it's so, and I probably want to get your thought process on this. Like some of the events we do now, they have freestyle with the airbag landings. And I feel like that's completely taken away the shock factor to the crowd.
I've debated this with some people, and I don't really know where I stand with it either, because I have seen I like it because it's safer for everybody, obviously, coming from actually having done it and been hurt and stuff. But I do kind of understand the little bit of I don't know what it's like, less exciting to people or something because people could crash. I'm not really exactly sure why that takes it away, but I think it does a little.
I love the safety aspects because let's be real, how many riders do we know over the years that, it's no joke, they've lost their lives, they've, been seriously injured, right? Like it's no
had to
joke.
learn to tie their shoes, drive, etc. Multiple people.
Yeah, and it's like, I remember doing shows where you're coming out of a tunnel, going through a set of doors that are held open, jumping past the Jumbotron, and the first hit, you're like, if I case this, I might not actually make it. What I mean?
And am I going to hit that scoreboard or not? Or the Jumbotron?
Yeah, I remember riding a show with J-Ro once, and it was snowing outside. The stadium floor's frozen solid pretty much because it's so fucking cold. Yeah. And we're spraying Coke syrup and putting carpet down and jumping out of a corridor, landing in a corridor, and jump into a steel landing that if you come up short, you're going to get seriously hurt. If you go long, you're going to get seriously hurt. But the crowd knew that, I think,
For sure.
Whereas now I love that the riders are safe and it's a lot more of a guarantee that they're not going to get seriously hurt. But I notice, because also people know I used to do freestyle. So when we're at Supercross, they're like, oh, you can take the Supercross show and I'll commentate that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just not what it used to be with the crowd,
I agree. I also think, though, that, I guess people crashing and getting up probably ruins it for them a little bit if that happens at the show. But I honestly think the tricks have gotten so crazy that most people can't even relate to it. It's to a level where I don't know, we rode. Can you relate to a front flip? I can't. I don't even, or double flips or double flip Superman on the first flip, I don't know. I've never done any of that stuff. So it's kind of even out of my realm of being understanding it.
Yeah, it's evolved, right? I think, like I said, you go to a Supercross here, you're going to see a front flip, a double back flip. And that's sometimes to an airbag, sometimes to a dirt landing. But when you compare it to, I guess back in our day, right? A backflip was a big deal. And we were doing C-grab indies and double grabs and I still remember I would be the first guy out on the IFMAs because I was the worst guy on tour. And my first hit, I would do a double grab. And I remember the crowd losing their mind because that was the first trick they saw. You know what I mean? I think if you do a double grab nowadays, people wouldn't even probably wouldn't look up from their phone screen, right?
Yeah, they're very jaded. I think that's here's the thing. As much as I love it and it was fun and everything, you can only watch a backflip so many times. I went to the original Ramp to Dirt IFMAs and they had 16 people on tour. And I was tired over it by the end of qualifiers. Everybody's doing, how many rock solids did I see? 55. You know, like,
Yeah, but I think the world has changed so much because back then you had to leave your house to get dopamine and excitement,
yeah, it
right?
wasn't on your phone.
So no, you didn't have this constant plug in of like stimulation. So you did nothing for weeks at a time other than go to work and do whatever. And then when an event came around, like, it was just different back
That's
then, wasn't it?
very true. I mean, so let's do the combination. People already see this stuff on social media, especially if they even like anything remotely close, right? Like monster trucks or cars or motorcycles in general. They'd probably get
Trucks.
they probably get people doing stupid shit on dirt bikes or whatever, you know? So they probably are exposed to it a lot more. Then combined with the airbags. And it's a shame because the tricks are like you said, front flip, double back flip. The tricks for, especially over there for the demos, are like at the pinnacle, and still nobody cares because they can see Sheeny do a triple flip or whoever do a triple flip, you know, somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you turn, the digital TV, you turn your TV on now, and you just Red Bull TV is on my TV, not
Yeah.
even on YouTube. It's just like a channel, and you turn it on randomly just to see what's on, and it's just all the gnarliest, Tom Pages, Sheeny, all these guys, and same with your phone. When you're seeing Nitro and X Games, and you're not going to be that impressed. That's why it is hard. To grow anything here to a certain point because if you're a sports fan in Australia, the metric is America. So if you like basketball, you're going to watch NBA. You know what I mean? If you like soccer, you're going to watch Premier League, or you're going to watch the A League or whatever it is in America.
But Aussies
right?
are they're pretty like proud people and stick behind their own guys. So I feel like, I mean, I guess right now Jet and Hunter are winning on the world stage, so they're like want to watch them here.
They get behind their own guys on the world stage, yes.
Yeah,
But if Jet and Hunter were winning in Australia, like, yeah, they'd be getting fans, but it'd be not even a tenth of what they,
right.
are.
That's true.
You
I was thinking about
So
the people seeing stuff online, and even when I was riding, like the weekend that Travis did the double backflip, that's
yeah,
literally that weekend. Kids were at a show going double backflip, and I'm like, this is a parking lot in Illinois, okay? That just happened once by the best guy in the world. Like, give me a break.
yeah, and you still get that now. I think it's just people, but there's still an industry here for shows, and I'm sure there still is in America. It seems like freestyle has really dropped off in America. I feel like the free ride thing. The free ride thing is, I don't know what it is about Australia. Like, we just seem to have. I say we. I've been here 16 years now. Like I'm Australian. My kids are Australian, but it's like, I'm good mates with Corey Creed. The quarter pipe guy, and the level that he rides at during the week here, like the compound he has built, is just one of a kind in the world. Probably Raha is the only other guy that's got something like that.
Yeah.
And
Jared
Corey
McNeil.
just. Yeah, Jared, but he's kind of dropped off with quarter pipe. I think since he got hurt a couple of times, he's not really pushing the next limit anymore. But like, you go, I'll go out to Corey's place on a Tuesday and he's going 50, 60 foot in the air, just like a normal run.
Yeah.
Like, it's the craziest shit, but that's the level that, I don't know what it is with Australia. It just breeds that talent level.
Well, we finally have a couple of guys in some of the, like that Colby Gort and Raha, as far as like, he has like you said, at his place, he has a quarter pipe set up and he just hits it all day long. And I think with any of this stuff, that's what you have to do, right? Is do it over and over and over and over so that it becomes just like a normal everyday thing.
Well, it's muscle memory, right? It's repetition. And like you said with Brody, it's like they become so comfortable at that level, but that's just their base.
Yeah.
But yeah, like be it racing, motocross or supercross, be it freestyle, be it quarter pipe, like even skateboarding, and be it like there's so many good young athletes, riders out here. The unfortunate part is when they blow up, they usually leave and go to America, but that's inherent in, that's where the money is,
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are definitely freestyle wise are dominating everything. I brag if we have more Americans in an event than Australians, just not even doing good. Just we have more people in the event. Like, look at
I don't know.
this.
It seems to me like freestyle on a competition level is completely broken. You've got Europe seems to be holding it down a little bit. They've still got the night of the jumps and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it anymore.
I would
I used to
say
help out.
Night of the Jumps is the biggest legitimate contest series.
Is it a contest series though, or is it like the IFMAs were and it's a contest series,
No, I'm one of the judges. Like
Okay, so it's legit. Yeah.
full on. Yeah, there's three of us, 3, 4, 5 of us. Depends on if, some people are in stadium or not. I do it from, online.
Yeah.
But no, we're totally, they get paid off of it, I believe. I don't know if there's like prize money, but it's definitely who wins definitely won the event. Luke Ackerman's won everything for like the past literally 5 years, and Pat Bowden went, go figure. And he ended up beating him with variety.
Well, that's what I was going to say, right? Like whenever I'm on Instagram, Ackerman kills it.
Dude.
And he doesn't even bother going to X Games anymore. Probably because he's got the wrong helmet on. But
that and X Games doesn't pay shit. You have to have deals like everybody said, even back in the day. You don't make money the first time you go to X Games. You have to show that you can go to X Games and then get sponsors for contingency for placing at X Games. If you can line a deal up the first time, cool. But most people don't. And they go there for basically free. You pay your own airfare, your own hotels to go and do this huge contest. I mean, those guys were invited.
Dude, the money that Corey Creed spends each year, like he builds a full-on race bike for quarter pipe, and then they break the thing down. He brings 2 mechanics with him, and it is a massive investment. And he has an American Rockstar global deal, so X Games is part of his contract. But the competition thing in freestyle, it's a shame because I look back to the glory days and it was a different time though. Again, I don't think logistically a freestyle competition is financially a viable thing to put on, right?
It's not. It's, at least in America, I say it all the time, or for a long time, freestyle does not fill a building.
No.
Just straight freestyle. Look at X Games. When it was in Minneapolis, Nick and Turbo Nuts and I went. There was, half pipe, skateboard half pipe, and freestyle on different corners, and there wasn't even one section filled.
Yeah. X Games is made for TV, but the reality is that if you look at the wave that freestyle rode in the early 2000s, and I caught the very end of that glory wave, which I'm really thankful for. But then the world changed, and you look at skateboarding and BMX and a lot of the jams and contests now, you got Street League, you got X Games, you got the Olympics, but all the jams and pro skaters are still just doing content and doing local stuff, right? It's, I don't think freestyle has adjusted yet to going back to but the problem is there's no industry in freestyle. Skateboarders sell skateboards, BMX riders sell BMXs. What do freestyle riders sell? On a local level, that they're not selling dirt bikes, right?
No, they're selling graphics or clothing.
Yeah, everything they're selling, there's no money in, right? So, and the world's different now. Kids don't really want to do that anymore. My kid just wants to be a scooter rider, Willie. You know what I mean? I got a son and a stepson, and they just watch YouTube and they just want to be scooter guys because that's what their age group's doing.
Well, our Willie is now a badass BMX guy as well. And I always say that those BMX guys should never have made fun of his scooter.
Our Willie is,
A freak of
He's
nature.
probably he is a freak of nature. He lives just up the street from me, not up the street, like close enough, and he's doing stuff on 110s now, and I think that there may be a transition coming where he might go to big bikes one day.
For what though? Is there that much more money? I feel like
I don't think he needs or wants more money. I think it's more he just wants to do world firsts. And if he could do something on a dirt bike, like you look at what he's trying on a 110, like maybe that's doable on a dirt bike, you know?
he definitely does like you're like, what the hell? A bike flip to tail whip or something. You're like, how did you even come up with this?
Well, yeah, he does scooter tricks on a BMX, right? Like he'll do front flip, inward, like front flip, bike flip, inward, tail whip, whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, the world's just a different place, and I don't know where, you're going to have your set guys, but freestyle is two dimensional now. Like you need, Berriman, and I guess Twitch is like an OG, and that's just a different thing. He's kind of like the Tony Hawk of FMX or whatever, but like, you look at the brand deals now, you got like Berriman, you got Raha, like Raha's jumping Harleys at Sturgis and doing X Games. Like he's not a two-dimensional character. He can do multiple things, and I think to an extent, that's the modern landscape of business, right? Like our business does a few different things well, but we couldn't survive off of just doing one thing,
Yeah. I think about that all the time now because it's like almost everybody has to have more than one hustle or a side hustle or whatever because I guess just the way inflation.
Well, I think the days of working for the company for 40 years and getting the gold watch like that, it's not a thing anymore, is it?
Some people, my wife has a good job. I don't know if she's going to get a watch or not, but
yeah, but think about the age of I don't know how old your wife is, but think about the age of you. Like I know for me, trying to get young people to work for us, it's not an easy sell because people don't want to work for people anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's different in America where there's a lot more people, but like good people I want to hire, like they kind of want to do their own thing. They don't want to go work for a company,
Yeah. I get that. Believe me, I work, at like shops just doing mechanic stuff. And I'm like, shoot me in the face. But I go because I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah, shit's about to get real, Big Daddy Clint, if there's a baby coming.
So,
I got 3 of them collectively. It is a wild thing.
Yeah, we want the kid to hatch already so we can play with her and have her. My wife's getting over being pregnant. She's like, okay, let's just have the kid already.
Yeah, they get to that point, bless them. But no, it's awesome. It's the best thing you'll ever do, but it gets pretty hectic at times.
You'll like this. She said, she was like, they say that pregnancy gets really hard so that you're just like, I would just want to have it. I don't care anymore. And Greg Hartman told me and I told her this, Greg Hartman told me to wait to flip until the cost of not flipping is worse than whatever could happen flipping. Because you get to a point where you're just like, I just need to do this. I'm driving myself crazy. And he goes, it doesn't make sense, but one day it will. And I got to a point where I was like, I just need to flip or give it up because I'm making myself nuts. So it's just like having a baby, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'll I'll take your word for it. But yeah, dude, it's good luck to you guys, man. You left it kind of late, bro. Like, you're getting on a bit now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you? 40,
45.
40 what?
45.
Yeah, I was going to say 45. Yeah. Yeah, you
she's a bit younger than I am.
That's good, man. Younger model.
But it didn't take long. We were like, we're going to have a kid. And next thing you know, we were having a kid.
Yeah, it's normally how it works, bro.
Not in this day and age, at least in America, with, dyes in our Cheerios or whatever it is.
Yeah, I was going to say you guys are eating so much fake food that it's lucky you're not growing extra gills at this point.
Yeah. Well,
I haven't been back to America. I went to California in 2016. Was the last time I went back, and I was like, remember when I lived with you guys? I like all the food, like the life. I loved America, but I guess I was so young, right? And then living over here, everyone's healthy, amazing food, all those things. And when I went back to California, I was like, get me out of here. Like it was, honestly, I was really shocked how bad it had become.
We're like crazy people to most everybody else, like reading the ingredients and everything, and like, no, we don't want any of that. And we'll buy our stuff over here or whatever. Normal people here are like, what is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, but that's just society, right? Like I don't know, like I'm not going to say I eat super healthy, but even the food I eat here, which is just normal food, is so much healthier than anything you can probably get in America,
You can get good food here, but you have to search it out and find like these small little niche companies or like your local. We live in the middle of the like farm.
Yeah, where do you live now?
New Jersey. But
you went back to Jersey?
Yeah.
No way.
And we're up in the middle of farm fields because my parents are still here and everybody.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of fields. We go to farmers markets, and there's a farm that just has a stand, like a shed out front with meat in it. And you can just go in and you write down what you're taking and then just pay for it with a card or put cash in the thing. So,
yeah, that's good, bro. I mean, that's what you want, but yeah, anything mass produced is, my missus business is in holistic health, right? So like, all the food we eat is fully organic, fully everything. I don't pretend to understand it all, but it's high quality stuff.
We have the same thing here. Like I said, my wife has a degree in dietetics, and she left that. That's not what she does now, because she worked at a hospital and they wouldn't let her change anybody's diets. And she's like, we're not really helping anybody here. Like, what are we doing? Why are we feeding them this? And so then she just left the system because she was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, the public sector over there would be, the medical, pretty much everything there. Like I look back and I'm like, when I left America, my intention was to come back. Like I was going to go get my visa situation sorted, fix my body because I had a bunch of crashes and whatnot. And I was like, I'm going to come back, and I wanted to live in America. And I think now about like, would I want to raise a family over there? I would have become American at this point, so I probably would have known no different, but I look at how it is over there and I'm like, I'm so like, this is a shitty thing to say. And I love a lot of America, but raising a family, it's probably not the place I'd want to do it.
Well, we're definitely like, do we want to send the kid to school, or are we going to be like crunchy parents that keep them home and teach them ourselves? What's the deal?
You got to be crunchy, dude. I mean, we're not crunchy enough, like as in, but private school, they go to Montessori school.
Yeah. My actual
son. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like, look, Australia is kind of this weird base of the media and the government here is super liberal. So there's not a lot of good things in the state system. Like we have good healthcare here and stuff, but as far as schooling and all that other crazy political shit that I don't really want to get into, like there's a lot of that here as well. So the more you can keep your kids out of that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. All right. We'll end it on a low note. We'll make it.
Yeah, I don't want to get into politics, but yeah.
All good, dude. It's good. We had a conversation. We found out all that you got going on. Good luck with ID Media and everything else. And so you got a couple months now until Supercross starts back up, and then you'll be back out there.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we're at about an hour up the road from my house in Brisbane is the first round of Supercross, and that's in October. So I've got a couple months to regroup from the event stuff. But the agency during the week, we do a lot of work away from the races as well.
Yep.
So it allows us to catch up on that a little bit and just not travel as much for a while, which is nice.
Yeah, it's nice to go, but it's nice to stay.
Yeah, I'm at the point, I don't know, like jaded, right? Like I went to probably half of the pro motocross rounds this year. It's the opposite to America. So we do motocross in winter, Supercross in summer.
In your winter?
The summers. Yeah, in our winter we do motocross. And, so we do motocross from like March till August.
That makes sense.
And then we do Supercross from October to December. So half the rounds of motocross are down south where I used to live, which is like really cold in winter, so I try to avoid those now because I live up on the beach in the heat, so I don't like going to the cold anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit of a snob. I'm like, guys are going to be, I'm not going to that one. I'll send the guys and I'll stay home and work at home.
That's the problem. It'd be too cold here if you did moto in the winter. You couldn't do it.
Yeah, I think it's just too hot here to do moto in summer. Like, it's hot in America in the summer, but you guys have the facilities where you can run a motocross when it's 100 degrees and it's, no problem. Whereas over here, like in summer when it's 40, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius, it's a different kind of heat here, man. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't get hot in America, but like the heat here is something else.
Well, good luck with that.
Anyway.
Stay close to the beach.
Yeah, so we race Supercross at night in summer and it's really good. And it works, so yeah. But yeah, man, I'll be home for a little bit, which is nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. Where should everybody go to see all of your podcasts and your personal stuff or whatever you want to put out there?
The personal Instagram is at @JS_Joe Stevens. And then we've got at Inside Dirt, which is the publication that we run on Instagram and website insidedirt.com.au. Inside Dirt Podcast is the podcast channel. You search Inside Dirt on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, it'll all come up. I haven't done a bunch of podcasts of late, but there's some good stuff with Chad Reed and Justin Brayton and all the guys that came over for Aussie Supercross last season. So, that's where it's all at. And appreciate you having me on, mate. Good to chat to you after all these years. Best of luck with the baby. And,
Thank you. And, absolutely. We'll have to make it not be 10 years until the next time we talk.
Now let's do an annual catch up, hey?
I'm down.
I'll get you on mine as well. I'll get you on my show as well, and we'll do a detailed, rundown on the glory days. Probably a lot of stories we can't tell, but
most I don't remember, so we should be fine.
I have so many that come to mind right now.
I like when people talk to me about stories because I'm like, that sounds cool. I don't remember that.
I was like, hey, you were there. Like, oh, okay.
All right. Thank you guys for watching and go follow Joe and ID Media. Later.